Today I'm going to be making something really yummy, and these are my fresh blueberry biscuits. So let's get on with the ingredients. 2 cups of all-purpose flour, 1 cup of milk, and I'm using 2% milk in this recipe, 1/3 of a cup of regular white sugar, that's granulated sugar, 1 teaspoon of salt, 4 teaspoons of baking powder, 1/4 cup of butter, and I'm using unsalted butter in this recipe, and our last ingredient, a good cup of fresh blueberries. So those are the ingredients, so let's get started. Alright, our first step, I'm going to get all of our flour into the bowl and our nice butter, and I have a pastry cutter here, and I'm simply going to start breaking all of the butter up. I just want to get it into pea-sized pieces. Now if you have a food processor, you can do it in the food processor as well. This here will take about 5 seconds in your food processor to accomplish. But for today, I like doing this. It's very relaxing. So I'll just do it this way. So I'm going to whip through this. I'm going to break up all of the butter, and I'll be back in a second. Alright, this is about a minute later, and that looks really nice. So if I grab it up and just pull it, I can see all the little pieces of butter. So that's perfect, just like that. So that's the first step. Okay, so now I'm going to add in my sugar, the salt, and the baking powder. And I do want to get this in before I add in the wet, which is our milk in this case. I just got my whisk here. I'm just going to whisk this all together. I just really want to combine this well. Super easy recipe. Delicious result. Okay, once that's well combined, grab your milk. And my milk was cold, okay? So you want to measure out all of your ingredients and then put your milk and your butter back into the fridge. They both should be cold for this recipe. So there we go. Just going to grab a fork now. Don't use your whisk because this will get really gooey. So just grab a fork or 2 forks and just start slowly mixing this all together. And I do want you to preheat your oven to 450 degrees Fahrenheit. Yes, it's a very hot oven, 450 degrees Fahrenheit. Okay, that's good. Okay, so I've just put a little bit of flour down on my work area. I'm just going to get all of our beautiful mixture out of the bowl. Alright, there we go. I have just regular all-purpose flour in my little shaker, and that's what I applied to my bench. I'll just get that on there just like that, and then I'm just going to start gathering it up. And I'm just going to start incorporating a little bit of flour into this. Okay. It's quite sticky still, and that's fine. Okay. I'm going to push it out, and I'm going to get the blueberries on there. We're going to start working those in. Blueberries on the run! Quick, grab them! And there is my oven, 450 degrees Fahrenheit. Just give them a little push. Alright, I'm just using my little bench scraper here. You can buy these in plastic as well, and they're about $1, and they work really well just to help scoop up your dough. And then I'm just going to grab my rolling pin and just roll it out a little bit, just like that. And I'm just going to fold this over, just like that. A little bit more flour. So you see what I've done? I've folded it over on itself, creating little layers. There we go, just like that. And grab my rolling pin one more time. little bit more flour down on the bottom. It is still sticking quite a bit. You know, when you're doing this kind of recipe, you have to feel it as you go. You know, the dough will actually speak to you and tell you how much flour you need, you know, in a way. I'll grab my rolling pin now and just get it to the shape that I want. Just like that, and we are ready now to cut our little rounds. I have a little tray over here, and what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to grab a cookie cutter. This is 2.5 inches, and I'm just going to cut little rounds and get them right onto the tray. Just like that. If you want to make more of these, then you can roll out your dough a little bit thinner, but your biscuits will not rise, you know, as tall. So it all depends on what you want to do. And another one. So I'll just whip through these and come back when we're all done. There we go. Okay, so at this point my oven is going at 450 degrees Fahrenheit. I'm going to pop these in. I will bring them out and I'll let you know exactly how long I bake them. I've got a little bit left here, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to roll that up, and I'll make probably another 2 out of the remaining dough that's here. I'll bake them all up, and then I'm going to come back and we're going to do a very quick glaze on them. So off to the oven. So while my blueberry biscuits are in the oven, let's just do a very quick glaze. So I have 1 cup of confectioner's sugar here. This is also called powdered sugar or icing sugar. I have 1 teaspoon of vanilla, so we'll get that in. I've got a teaspoon of nice lemon juice, we'll get that in. And I also have 2 tablespoons of water. And I'm just going to add a little bit of that in, about half of that. And I'm just going to give it a little stir. I'm just going to mix this around. Now this is a totally optional step. You don't have to do this, but this is a rather nice thing to, you know, just pour on the top of your nice biscuits. So I'm just going to slowly mix that around. And I'm going to add just a little bit more of this water. So that was, I measured this out, 2 tablespoons. I don't think I'm going to use all of it. I don't want it too thin. It is amazing how quickly icing sugar absorbs moisture and changes the total consistency of it. And see there? That's nice, just like that. So you can put in all of the water if you wish. There's just a little bit there. I'd say there's maybe 2 teaspoons left of water. So that's good, just like that, okay? So I'm gonna get my tray ready, and I'm gonna get my biscuits all ready to go, and I'll come back when they're all done. So here's my first batch of blueberry biscuits. These bake for a total of 9 minutes at 450 degrees. And oh, they smell so good. Really, really nicely done on the bottom. There we go. So what I'll do is I'm going to show you the other ones that were left over. 1 second. And here are the other ones. I was able to make 2 more biscuits out of these. So there we go. These are hotter than the other ones. So I'm going to go grab one of the other ones and we'll break into it. Where are we here on the camera? There we go. And I'll just, oh, look at this. Oh, these smell so good. Really, really nice. Look at how delicate they are. Oh, you can still see a little bit of steam coming from them. I'll just give it a little test. Oh, amazing. Really, really good. Okay, so let's set up our little glazing station and we'll glaze a couple of them. Okay, I've set up my little glazing station, and what I did was I let these completely cool, because when we put our icing on the top, it won't run off as quickly when they're cool. If they're really, really warm, when you put the icing on, they're just going to drip right off. So I've got the icing here, and what I'm going to do is I'm just going to give it a little stir, and just with my whisk, I'm just going to drizzle it over the top, and no rules on how much or how little that you want to use, just whatever you like. I'm going to get that on there. And I hope you try this recipe out. These are really, really good. And this is a really nice glaze that I'm using here. It's, with the combination of the vanilla and the lemon juice. Really, really nice. So we'll just get those on there just like that, a little bit like that. And look at that. And this will just make for easy cleanup because it'll just go right through and go right onto the actual, you know, the same tray that we used to bake these. A little bit more love on that one. And just get it on there. And there we go. And there we go. Perfect. So there we have it, my fresh blueberry biscuits with that beautiful glaze. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you next time.